Not good news for Riley Moss, Broncos country. Moss is going to be out for an extended period of time after suffering an MCL sprain in Week 12 against the Las Vegas Raiders. According to Benjamin Albright, when asked for a status update on Moss, it seems that it's still going to be a couple of weeks. The Cincinnati game seems to be the return target for Riley Moss, which absolutely sucks. That means that the Broncos are going to have to go two more games, the Colts game and the Chargers game, without Riley Moss's services. Hopefully, Chris Abrams-Draine is now in the cards to start over Levi Wallace, because in the game against the Cleveland Browns, as everybody saw on national TV, Levi Wallace was getting torched out there by not just Jerry Jeudy, but also Elijah Moore. I am not confident in Levi Wallace if they have to throw him out there against the Indianapolis Colts or the Chargers. That would be even worse. I'm hoping Chris Abrams-Draine, you might have to go through some rookie growing pains with him. He did give up a pass interference penalty. He did give up a third down conversion when the Broncos finally pulled Wallace in favor of CAD, but I do think that ultimately CAD does give the Broncos the better chance to at least be competent at the outside boundary corner position. Another option is to put Jaquan McMillan out on the outside and then Chris Abrams-Draine in at nickel, or maybe Damari Mathis. He's been getting some work in the dime looks, and I think Mathis has actually played some good football. He might be in contention to also go in there on the boundary. I know some people in Broncos country, based on what they saw from him last year, are very, very worried about potentially seeing Damari Mathis, but I thought that based on what we saw from Mathis in training camp and the preseason this year, he's grown a lot, especially in man coverage. His technique is a lot better. He's not getting his hips flipped as easily. He's not biting on double moves as much, stuff that really burned him last year and ultimately got him benched for Fabian Moreau. So I do think that the Broncos have better options at the end of the day than Levi Wallace. The Wallace experiment was a sound signing at the time. You know, he was a veteran player, had played for Buffalo and Pittsburgh before, and had at least put some decent film out there before, and he was going to bring some depth in there, potentially if Riley Moss hadn't developed as hoped, or Chris Abrams-Draine, he wasn't quite ready to go. But Riley Moss obviously developed really nicely, and it made Levi Wallace almost expendable, and now the Broncos are very lucky that Levi Wallace wasn't the week one starter, because, woo, man, the floor at that second boundary cornerback position could have been so much lower. I think Chris Abrams-Draine has a really bright future in the NFL, and I think the Broncos have high hopes for him. So I think this is a good time to get Chris Abrams-Draine out there and just see what he can do, man. You might have to work through some growing pains, but it's going to be a lot better than 10-year veteran, or I don't think he's a 10-year veteran, a multi-year veteran in Levi Wallace getting burned consistently. I would much rather deal with a rookie getting burned than a veteran corner like Levi Wallace getting burned. That's just unacceptable to me. So hopefully we do see Chris Abrams-Draine or even Damari Mathis out there. I think that the Broncos are going to have to do some shuffling in that secondary to find the right combination that works for them. We did see some good results out of the secondary in the back half of that Cleveland game after they finally put Chris Abrams-Draine in there and took Levi Wallace out. So that's probably what we're going to continue to see. It just sucks that Riley Moss is going to be out for, it looks like, 2 more games. Sounds like this was more along the lines of a grade 2 MCL sprain, more of a moderate injury as opposed to a grade 1 mild injury. So yeah, a month's missed time. That sounds about right, unfortunately. All right, Broncos country, let me know in the comment section below, who do you think needs to start at the second boundary corner position? Does it need to be Jaquan McMillan? Does it need to be Chris Abrams-Draine, or does it need to be Damari Mathis? Obviously, if it's McMillan, then you've got to figure out who's going to start at nickel. So what are your thoughts? Drop those comments down below, guys. I would love to hear your thoughts, as always. Be sure to leave a like on this video, as well as subscribe and ring the bell so these videos appear in your notification feed. I would really appreciate it, guys. Those are both free and easy ways to show your support. It helps tell YouTube's algorithm to push us out, and it helps us get seen by more and more members of Broncos country just like you and me. And until next time, guys, I'm your host, Gage Madrid, saying peace out.